lemonade. So anyone that thinks that we're in a crisis and therefore is gloom and doom does not understand the fundamentals of perspectives. Perspective means someone looks at this case and sees only these aspects and defines this entire box by what they see here. So if you see here, can you see the picture you see here? It's totally different from the picture you see here. And it's totally different from the picture you see here. We will always discuss with my MBA students and master's level students on Thursdays that there are two kinds of people. One person sees a problem and runs away from it, or sees crisis and runs away from it. The other person sees crisis and sees a problem and runs towards it. Why? Because it is their intention to share it. So this evening's class, or this evening's learning, is specifically for those of you that are parents of EIE, who are professionals in one field or the other, and or who are business owners. They are entrepreneurs or they are gainfully employed. No time in the entire human history have we had this wonderful time, and will we ever have it again? This is the time when they talk about social distancing. I think that's completely wrong, because now we are socially interacting. Those of you who are waving at me, thanks for waving at me. Thanks for showing love and showing likes. Thank you. If you have any friend or family who falls into this category, that means you are employed in any field, in any sector, at any level. Number two, you are employing other people. Please share what we are discussing today with them now. Opportunity for you to share with your family that you are not physically with, or you can't physically go and visit, but you know they may benefit from what we've shared yesterday evening, because we are building on what we shared yesterday evening. And every 7 p.m., between 7 p.m. and 7:15, technology permitting, London time, we are going to be learning and earning. The more information you have, the less fear you have. So those of you that are afraid that you may die, if you know anyone that is afraid they may die, you need to share it with them now so that we can give them the word of life. If you know that you have a colleague that panicked when they heard that, ooh, this is what is going to happen now, do them a favor and share this broadcast today. Why? Because it's going to inform you and remove the fear you have, and any questions you have, I'm ready to tackle it. Why am I ready to tackle it? Because we have useful information. At 8 o'clock, I'm going on another special program, Zoom meeting to meet healthcare workers at 8 o'clock today. So between 7 and 8, we're together. We're going to be sharing together. We need to establish the facts that they are, because once we know the facts, fear will begin to erode. If you don't know the facts, you will begin to imagine the worst case scenario. We have enough people that talk about the worst case scenario. That's the reason why I told you yesterday, and I showed this to you. I showed you my great and wonderful difference between this fruit and this fruit. They are very different. A lot of people enjoy oranges, but when you give them lemon, they complain because they are not used to it, because it's different. You need to know, you need to understand as an entrepreneur, when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade. When life gives you lockdown, you learn and you earn. When life, whatever life gives you, you got to be able to turn it around by having a multiple perspective to the crisis. If you're just joining up, thank you for joining, and we want we're blessed to have you physically join us in this wonderful session to learn and to earn. In the morning at 10 o'clock, we did something. We told our young students, Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2, that was the main focus of Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2. If you haven't listened to that as a parent, your son or your daughter the wonderful opportunity to learn about what we call circumstance, circumference, diameter, and the radius. We did this, we cut it in the morning, you all were there. Those of you that woke up early in the morning at 10 a.m., were able to go to the kitchen, we cut this, we took some measurements, we wrote it down, and some of you have already sent in your drawings. Good. Make sure you get your children to do that and send that to you. But more importantly, the same fruits are very applicable to you if you think you are going to lose some income. If you ever think that because of what's happening now, you are losing any money, you need to listen and listen very carefully. If you have any friends that think they're going to lose money or lose income, they must listen and listen very carefully. Because we are going to demonstrate to you that you can make lemonade when life gives you lemon. You don't quarrel, you don't fight, you don't moan, you don't listen to the gloom and doom of people that have nothing but fear to pass on. You have to dispel yourself of any misinformation, any disinformation, and we told you what newspapers you should go and get, and I shared with you some of the newspapers I read, and I gave you the opportunity to also read the newspapers for free in the morning. So if you are an entrepreneur or you have a mind to help people solve their problems, you are in the right channel. You can share this. I hope Paula is sharing this on the to the Excellence in Education website and sharing it to my Facebook page. And I hope you're sharing this as well on Periscope. Yeah, I know you're on Periscope. And Instagram. Yes, on Instagram. And LinkedIn. We're sharing it on LinkedIn. So it's across the platform. On Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Periscope. We are there. And if you missed the morning session, get onto the YouTube page. Now, get onto the YouTube page. So welcome this evening for all of you that are joining. We are meeting for one reason. And one reason alone. Because life lemonade, some of us lemon, I beg your pardon, we are going to make lemonade. Most of us on this corner are on lockdown. So if you know you are on lockdown, whether it's voluntary lockdown, self-isolation, or what they call physical, I call it physical distancing. It's not social distancing. I really don't like it. Because when you say physical, it means we cannot see face to face, but we can electronically, by the power of the internet that was given to this generation, but denied the previous generation, we can interact. So we have people from Wuhan in China, where the first incidence of COVID-19 virus took hold. We have people listening in now from New York, where the wave is now moving. We have people listening in from Italy, Italiano. So I want people logging in from London. Type London, the name of the city you are in. If you are in Lusaka, type Lusaka. If you are in Johannesburg, please type the name of your city so that we can acknowledge you and give you more information that is geographically targeted to your location. So we don't just want to talk in generalities, we want to specific information will apply in your individual circumstance to be able to achieve everything that your local competitor dreamt of, but you actualize it. So there are some people that are great dreamers, they dream about things. There are others that engineer things. That means they make things happen. So we are going to make things happen in Johannesburg. We are going to make things happen in Lusaka. We are going to things happen in Los Angeles. We are going to make things happen in Wuhan. And I did promise you, we are going to have a family that has been on lockdown for 52 days. Man, wife, and children share with us how they were able to go through it, because they've now come through on the other side. So they're going to share with us, inform us on what they did and how they were able to accomplish it. So I was saying before, if there is turbulence, crisis, because the Chinese word for opportunity and crisis are essentially the same. They are one coin, two sides. The two sides of the same coin. If you don't understand Mandarin, great opportunity for you to learn a language if you are locked down, by the way. Great opportunity. If you want to know the school, I will show you how to use the school of YouTube. Ooh, didn't you know that? The school of YouTube, I will show you how, if you're a visual learner, we can capture the high impact words in your target language, and you'll be able to walk through a whole language. A whole language, you will learn it within this period of lockdown. If you're in self-isolation for 14 days, you can pick up a brand new language that you never ever spoke a word in before. We will give you all the full details. So, if you didn't come in the morning, let me just remind you, this is China Daily, the physical copy of China Daily. A China Daily for today, the 23rd, so you can see it is real life. If you couldn't go to the news agents or you couldn't go to the shop because you are in lockdown, I will solve that problem today for you. If you're in New York, for one reason or the other, because you're in lockdown, you couldn't go get the New York Times. Here is the New York Times for today. I'll share with you how you can get your copy delivered for free. You won't need to pay the cover price. Times is here. So once you type your city, I'll be able to tell you essentially how to get the authoritative paper for your city and for your area, and how to be able to sift through the fallacies, the facts, and be able to apply your faith, apply to the facts of the case, and be able to generate a fortune. If you have fallacy to your faith, that means you believe in the falsehood, you will have fear, and that will disable your fortune. Because in this crisis, this is shocking for anybody to hear, there are men and women that will become multi-millionaires. There are men and women that are multi-millionaires that will become paupers. It's the shaking and the redistribution of wealth. That is why every government on planet Earth right now is thinking of doing one thing: borrowing. All of them are pulling up their reserve. All of them right now, they are pulling up their reserve. You need to understand as an entrepreneur what you need to do. So you look at your local situation. You look at what perspective do you have any expertise in, or do you think you can acquire expertise in? I just finished a session just before we came on now, from 5 o'clock to 6, on what to do with technology for girls. I'll share that with you. If you're a girl or you have a child, a female child that is of school age, how you can, in this lockdown, acquire new skills and new knowledge and be able to earn in excess of £600 a day while in lockdown. Yes, this is not a promise, this is a guarantee. Like I said, I just finished the session before I came up on here, and you will see it. So you don't need to be a genius. Have we lost the because mine is telling me something different here. So I just want to make sure that technically we are still on. We have the opportunity to look at the problem from this angle, or look at it from this angle, or look at it from this angle, or look at it from the multiple angle. If you look at it from the holistic angle, you will know exactly which of your skill, which of your knowledge to pull out of your shelf and apply it to this situation, and you will be not just a favorite of the government, but you'll be helping people. This session originally was designed for Excellence in Education Program parents, but we've now extended it, parts of it, to the general public. Thanks to Manga High, because we're going to go straight into Manga High in the week. We are warming up now. And health care workers from any part of the world. It doesn't matter which part of the world you're in, provided you can log into our Periscope, or log in on our Instagram, or log in on our Facebook page. Provided you can log in, it is yours. If you're a healthcare worker, we'll give you 100% of the resources to sharpen your employment skills, acquire new linguistic skills, because I mentioned in the morning about those of you that can speak Mandarin or can read Mandarin. I told you about the interpretation opportunities, translation opportunities available now, not tomorrow. Our friends in Wuhan wants to share their experiences with the entire world, and they can only share the Mandarin. Majority of the inhabitants of Wuhan in China can only share their experiences and write about what they've seen, which is of use to the Spanish, but they can only say and do it in Mandarin. So we need Spanish translators and Spanish interpreters now, and that will save a lot of lives in Spain. We need Italiano. If you are an Italian person, you understand very weak Mandarin or no Mandarin, or you understand very weak English or no English, we will need your skills. What do you need to do? Step 1, share with me and Twitter. We don't want your CV. Don't post it, because we're going to do everything electronically. That's the reason I said this generation is the most favored generation of all planet Earth. The world has had crisis and crisis before, but they've not had the technology to be able to mitigate the crisis. This is the first generation of planet Earth to be able to have the technology to communicate over 6,000 miles, 9,000 miles, some 12,000 miles. So as we're broadcasting now, we're broadcasting to people in London, Europe, in New York, North America, in Wuhan, China, in Asia. Never before in the history of humanity where anybody just with a connection be able to do it. The BBC could not do it in 1960. They spent £2.6 million and they still couldn't do it. This is why I'm saying this is the most favored generation that has ever worked on the planet Earth. And yeah, you didn't know it. It's taking this crisis for you to recognize it, that with your mobile phone, you are in Lusaka. With your mobile phone, you are in Nairobi, Kenya. With your mobile phone, you will see me now. You don't have a TV screen. You just have a mobile phone and you're able to see me. None of our great-grandparents saw that. They saw the plague. Yes, they do. I mean, they did. They saw the plague. But they didn't have the platform that we have. Right? This is the trouble. This is the difference between us of this generation and the previous generation. And that's the reason why I'm so excited. And how did I know I'm excited? Somebody is going to win this MacBook Air. based on the entrepreneurial exercises we are going to be involved in. Somebody is going to walk away with this. I'm telling you this. This is not a promise. At the end of this series of lockdown, that some people are crying and weeping for, somebody is going to win the iPhone 6 Plus. Yeah, you just need to know what it means to brainstorm to be able to get that. Somebody is going to win, Huawei and the Huawei Pro. In the morning, I guaranteed you that you will win the book on the success of Huawei. How the founder of Huawei started at a time of adversity. It was great national adversity that gave birth to prosperity. Some people see adversity and they shrink because they are afraid. Their heart is troubled because they don't know what's going to happen next. The fear of the unknown has killed more people based on ignorance. So that's the reason why we want to keep you informed on a daily basis. Every day that we're in lockdown, we're going to learn something. Come sun, come rain. Every day we're in lockdown, we are going to learn something. And if you follow me on Twitter, you will learn something. If you follow people that sell fear, of course, and falsehood and fallacy, you will be depressed and you will be afraid. Even be afraid of your shadow. But if you follow simple instructions that we are sharing with you, you will go away with this. See, this is it. This is a Google Home Mini, brand new. Look at it. I've not opened it. Nobody's opened it. We are going to send this to you. Why? Because you are going to follow simple instruction of how to tap into the inner genius in you that will express himself at the time of ill wind. That means when the wind is blowing in the wrong direction. And some people are stopping. They want to cough. They don't want to cough again. They can't cough. They want to sneeze. They want to sneeze again. They can't sneeze. All the fear you've had will be exposed once you get the right information. Because in the times that we are living in, you need people that have insight and people that have a thorough understanding, not the governments. The government are relying on what the expert is telling them, who is relying on what WHO is telling them, who is relying on what UN is telling them. We will give you the undiluted facts because it is very clear that each time there is a crisis is a great opportunity for you to now take your heart and put it on and put on your thinking hat and come out with a solution. Number one solution. If you are a virologist, the biggest opportunity of a lifetime has come. If you are a microbiologist, the biggest opportunity of your lifetime has come. You now need to test and test and test antivirals and be able to come out with an antiviral that is able to inhibit the growth or replication of the coronavirus or the novel coronavirus. I love the way they call it. It's new. So your thinking has to be new. If you have an old thinking, you will wait for others to produce the answer. If you have a new thinking, you will be at the forefront of it. Because there is nobody that is an expert on the coronavirus. There are a lot of experts on normal viruses. But the way this virus mutates, that means changes, the way this virus behaves when it hits the upper respiratory part of the body, that means your nose, your throat, and your lungs, is remarkably different from the way the known viruses behave. And that's the reason why they'll have a plethora of advice. Because nobody has conducted an in vivo test or an in vitro test to be able to know the sensitivity of this virus to reagents and known chemicals. Until we have that, we have to be preventative. That means we have to wash our hands. We have to make sure that we use sanitizer. And I talked to you this morning how the children are going to make their own sanitizers. Listen to this. This is one great thing. Anybody that has studied chemistry and hated chemistry, or studied chemistry and loved chemistry, tomorrow morning, myself, Key Stage 2, Key Stage 3 students, are going to sit down. We are going to use gel, and we are going to make our own sanitizers from our own kitchen. The kitchen is going to be turned into a chemistry lab. So can you see, each time there's a problem, there's got to be a solution. You can be part of the solution if you run towards the problem and experiment, or you can just consume the solution if you run away from the problem. All my students and all my mentees have always been told, when there's a problem, you run towards it, because the bigger the problem you solve, the more relevant you are to your generation, and the bigger the reward. So this is not a weapon of mass destruction. No. This is a weapon of mass wealth creation. Of wealth creation. If anybody told you that this virus is going to kill you, I am very pleased to be the first person on planet Earth to tell you that this virus is going to what? Propel you to a new level of thinking, and a new level of wealth, and a new level of assistance to governments that have no clue what is happening. Most of the world governments, if they knew what, they had any clue what was happening, the first time the very first victim entered their airport, they would have pulled all these testing facilities to the airports and the seaport and tested every single person entering. They would have ignored the so-called incubation period and gone prophylactic, that means prevent, rather than retract. Some of the governments still have their airports open right now. Some borders are still well open. That's not even the case. The testing is so low, it's a joke. So if you are a healthcare provider in any capacity, there's a separate forum for that. Like I said, I'm going straight into that when I'm through with this. We will be able to tackle this with you and strategically. But if you are not, I've told you, if you type your city there, we are going to invite you to a specific closed door meeting where we'll look at what knowledge you have, provided you type your city here. That's task number one. Task number two, you have gone to tapped into my Twitter page. If you are not on Twitter and LinkedIn, you will not be able to use the current tools. So we will not be able to move with you and take you to the new land of great opportunity, because your tools are obsolete. With your new tools, with your new thinking, with new technology, you will be able to come out with a solution if you were working in the health sector. A solution if you are working in the automobile sector. A solution if you are working in the food sector. No matter the sector you found yourself, I can guarantee you that your skills are transferable. Your skills, your linguistic skills are transferable. Your technical skills are transferable. Your communication skills are transferable. Your volunteer skills are transferable. So we'll have to do a skill audit. So I will go onto your Twitter, be able to DM you. If you don't understand what DMing is, simple way of sending message from one Twitter account to the other. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, it's about time you follow huge people that show leadership in your field on Twitter. Not the one that dispense fear, but but the one that dispel fear. Not the one that will tell you a cock and bull story and recycle old gossip, but the one that will give you fresh information every day. This is the beauty of the new virus. There is fresh information every day, either from WHO or your chief scientist or the chief medical officer. Some of them, by the way, are compromised for political reasons, but we will give it to you pure, undiluted, depending on the geography where you are watching us from. So if you have any questions, I'm ready to take some questions. If you have any fears, I'm ready to help you dispel some of the fears, because most of the people that are afraid because they are not aware of the fact that Wuhan. Thank you for those people that joined us from Wuhan, our friends and our family. And I think I'll see what my mentee, who here was my mentee in London, had extensive connection with grassroots medical practitioners and grassroots doctors in Wuhan, and has even sent me a link that I'm going to share later for the support that they got in Wuhan in terms of getting masks. They got free masks, donating free masks, and had the opportunity of getting 100,000 masks and then 100,000 sanitizers. We need to clear that with you, because you need to know that with basic hygiene, that means cleaning your hands, making sure that you keep a distance from people that are not members of your family or staying together in the same house as you, because if you're staying with someone, that it's practically impossible not to be in the same room. But those that have already shown symptoms of coughing, of sneezing, we just need to do a basic test on them, and it'll be established whether you are corona free or you've been infected by the virus. If you've been infected by the virus, it's not the end of the world. You can still sabotage the virus, you can undermine the virus, you can upset the virus, you can upset the membrane around the virus. We're going to go deeply into that much later, but I just want you to know right now that your perspective is more important than your situation. That means the view you have. Whether you think that this is blue because you have this perspective, or you think it's gray because you have this perspective, or because it's white because you have this perspective, you got to have the full perspective before you can come to a decision. So I wish you great health. Thank you for logging in this afternoon.
Questions? Are you still
yeah, if you have any question, put your question there. Yes. I'm very keen to interact with you. Put your question on, if you are watching on YouTube, put your question there, because I really need to know. What is your biggest fear? Why are you afraid? Because I need to be able to wipe that off you. We have families that have been through this. So if you're visiting the city you're visiting from, we'll be able to see that. But I need to know why you are afraid. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid that your children may have been infected in their school and brought it home? Are you afraid that your business may go bust? Are you afraid that your employment may be lost? Put them down. We will dedicate a whole time and completely tear you to shreds. Because you need to work with insight. If you work with insight, this is a completely an unusual situation where nobody will say that they did not know that this was going to happen at one scale or the other. Nobody can say this. Because look at my old YouTube video. I think the one that went viral. Because we're saying when the then Prime Minister of the United Kingdom was lost for direction, remember? There was going to be deal or no deal. There was going to be an economic collapse. That was painted everywhere. And it came from these lips when I said that it will affect everybody. that deals directly or indirectly with English-speaking nations. It's there. It's there for you to see on YouTube. What we said last year is there for everybody to see. It was not part of New Year message. No, it wasn't. It was said long before then. It was the opportunity of the change of leadership in the UK that prompted us to say that there was going to be a global crisis. In what form it was going to be. But it's there, it's on YouTube. I'm pleased that YouTube dates all of this. And you don't need to delete it. You can go and interact with that and see that. So in summing up, if you have any question, a burning question, please let us know. If you don't have any burning question in summing up, we keep you posted and share with you what our friends, Mandarin friends, did in Wuhan that made the rate of infection to drop. It literally dropped now. It's not rising again. It's not plateau. It's dropping. What did they do? We will share that with you for 100% free. You don't pay anything. All you need to do is follow me on Twitter and on LinkedIn, and I will share with you what did our friends do. How did they help their most vulnerable? This is straight out of China. We'll share this with you. On planet Earth, that is sharing this. No other channel. If you know of any, please let me know. What our American friends are now doing and what they need to do, right from the White House to the Black House to the No House. Doesn't matter what house you are in. What you need to do, we'll share with you essentially the insight, not the sensation. Most newspapers, sadly, are still in pouring out sensation. That's the reason why you must not watch television for more than 1 hour straight. No, you mustn't. Because television now have gone into the old habit that they did when they said weapons of mass destruction, Iraq. Weapons of mass destruction, Iraq. Weapons of mass destruction, Iraq. And then the whole world went to war on a tissue of lies. This is not going to happen again. You got to be wiser. You watch television for only 1 hour, and then you go through into this problem-solving mentality. That's looking at the problem from all angles. Your local problems, we're going to help you analyze it. So that's the New York Times. You will be able to get this 100% free if you follow me on Twitter. You will get this for free. Look at today's one. Look at the date. It's the current one. It's today's one. You will be able to get the Times of London for free. So you will know exactly what is happening in the whole of Europe. And we will help you in digesting them. So don't ever think this is the end of the world. Some people say this is Armageddon. This is not Armageddon. Don't you ever think this is Armageddon. Take it from me, this is not Armageddon. I'll tell you the signs of Armageddon when this blows away. To prove to you it's not Armageddon. It's not Armageddon. So you cannot live on fear. If you live on fear and you get stressed out, guess what happens to your immune system? This is biologically proven. If you are stressed and you have a lot of anxiety, your immune system, the ability of your body to fight off the virus, will drop. You will be immunocompromised if you are stressed out. So fear is a pathology by itself. What I'm saying, fear is disease causing. Fear is pathogenic. If you do not have any fear, you will be able to fight diseases better than if you are fearful. So what you just need is this right information. Once you have the right information, you're home and dry. And you must put a smile on your face. Rejoice. Again, I say rejoice. Do you know why I'm saying rejoice? Because you now have the tools to be able to interact with everyone. All right? I'm rounding up now because we're going straight on the special broadcast for health workers in the UK, and some are tuning from the US, and some are also tuning from China. I'm going straight into that broadcast now. But don't you fear. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself and the ignorance that produces fear. We will keep you informed. The virus will not and cannot kill you if you follow these instructions. The virus will not and cannot kill you if you get your loved ones to follow the simple instruction. It's just following instructions that confers the wisdom of long life on you. Long life in you. So do not worry, because we got this for you. Remember, you're going into the competition and one of you is going to win this. One of you is going to win this, Huawei, and the book. And the book, I'll show you the book again. If you haven't seen the book, the free book you're going to win, go to the broadcast from the afternoon, because we have our broadcast 3 times a day. 3 times again, to boost your mental strength, to boost your biological immunity, and to boost your own perspective, so that you can see this as the biggest weapon of wealth creation, not the weapon of mass destruction that they told you. They misinformed you. It's wealth creation, not mass destruction. None of you, none of your family members is going to, for any reason, be infected if you follow our disinfection regime. I did it in the afternoon. So at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, get all your children that are supposed to be in school. We will be going live from the lab. Those of all your children that find science difficult, or if you find science boring, we will teach science in the most fun way. You will understand the fundamentals, fun, and then the mental bit of it. You have fun, and then you do the mental bit, because we're going to do things practically. We're going to bring out our knives again. We're going to cut. We're going to have half. We're going to have quarter. We are going to have the diameter. We are going to have the radius. And all of this is going to be measured. And when you send your homework, tell your children, when they send their homework, they will get prizes. And the prizes are totally different from the one I showed you tonight. I think one of them is here. Those that do their homework, this is one of the prizes they'll get. The Corona, the Conquer Corona t-shirt, they're going to get that. They're going to have this special cable that will charge your micro USB. It will charge your lightning. It will charge your camera. It's got the C-type. They will win this. So tell your kids about that. And by 2 o'clock, lunchtime, we're having another live broadcast. Working on what we did today. What we did today was just preliminary. We're just warming up. We're just warming up today. This evening, again, we're still warming up. I've told you, write your location there. Write whatever fears you have. If you are afraid of the disease, we need to inform you how powerless the virus is in the face of alcohol. How powerless the virus is in case of what you call spirit. We're going to show you. We're going to show the youngest kids how to deal with the virus. We're going to tell you why the virus is thermosensitive. I mean, the virus is sensitive to heat. And at what temperature will the virus die? You need to know this. And if you've been infected by the virus, exactly what you need to do. You need to know this. Once you know this, you don't have to fear. Hooray! You welcome it as a wonderful opportunity. And now that you are home, what you must do. Those of you on lockdown, you cannot break down. If you're on lockdown, you cannot break down. Because some people are saying, oh, mental health issue. Mental health what? Mental health what? You exercise your brain. You get a new skill. You get new knowledge. I will show you the books you're going to read, and I will show you how to read the books. So don't be afraid of being in lockdown. You do lockdown learning. Like I said, if life gives you lemonade, if life gives you lemon, you make exactly what lemon is made. You make lemonade. If it gives you orange, you make orange juice. And I was going to tell you more about the vitamin C that is abundant in these so-called citric fruits. The big word for them to say they are citric fruit. But I'll tell you, the children in their elementary biology or what they call science tomorrow, We'll be able to talk about that. And then the adults, you can listen in. But the evening session is going to be for those that are employed, afraid of their jobs. Those that are not employed, afraid they may not get a job. Those that are in business, afraid their business might go bust. All your fears, bring them here. Bring them here. When you bring your fears, we will inform you. You will then be empowered to conquer your fear. If you know of anybody that is right down now, feeling really, really down, invite them to the next telecast. We will be here tomorrow at 10 a.m., then at 2 p.m., then at 7 p.m. And for the young girls that want to do science, we will invite you to the 5 p.m. as well. So it's going to be busy, busy, busy. You are not in lockdown so that you can sleep and dream and wake up and sleep and dream and watch television and then dream of what you watch on television and then get fearful. No, that's not what lockdown is there. Lockdown is a blessing. It's a mighty blessing. It's the biggest blessing you can dream of. And the biggest opportunity any human being could have wished for. So I thank you for logging in today. And please do not